Many of the general cognitive batteries that are mentioned in your text are instruments that are primarily given by neuropsychologists. As a matter of fact, some of these instruments many speech pathologists can't purchase because they have certain requirements, licensing requirements, degree requirements, can vary from state to state and from publisher to publisher. That being said, it's not uncommon for speech pathologists to use subtests from some of these batteries, but I think the concern is that these batteries are often used, for example, to compute IQ and things like that, things that we don't really have training for. There was a study done some time ago in 2002, but I think from my own experience it generally still holds true, and that is that the Ross Information Processing Assessment is the most common general battery given by speech-language pathologists, and you can see a table here of the different kinds of tests based on a survey that speech pathologists working with neurogenic population, I think specifically TBI, the kind of tests that they give. These are not, they weren't just asked about batteries, but as you can see, there's some individualized focused assessments tools in here too, like the Boston Naming Test. And I've given you a breakdown of the REPA, that's what I'll call it now, the REPA 2. Some clinics may have the older version. The psychometrics on the second edition are much better. In addition, there is a version of REPA 2 that's a geriatric version for elderly adults, and it's also, I believe, normed on right hemisphere damage patients. The REPA was originally designed for individuals with traumatic brain injury. So you can see here I've given you the sections that you can score in the REPA. People get an immediate memory score, a recent memory score, etc. And I've given you some examples of the tasks. As you can see, the tasks are heavily based on language skills. There are really no nonverbal tasks in the REPA, and so it may not be appropriate for anybody with some degree of aphasia or perhaps even pronounced anomia. I have experience with the REPA. I'll give you my subjective experiences that I question some of the, well, there are not a lot of items on the REPA. And the REPA, in a sense, I consider it kind of a lengthy screening test. There are not many items. Some of the items I question whether they test what they say they're testing, but that's just me. So to end off here, I think that what I see more of now is that the cognitive linguistic quick test is being used as a kind of general battery. And I gave an example in a previous lecture of a simple flow chart giving some idea of how you could use the cognitive linguistic test to choose a specific battery of attention or memory, etc.